Mark,
Oh,
what you
hi,
reading?
Paul. You just caught me reading DC Universe Lazarus Planet Revenge of the Gods #1.
What are the odds of that? That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about.
You've read it?
I have read it.
Let's get into it.
All right, but first, before we do that, let's make sure that we take a look at this. So, Lazarus Planet is over, but is it really?
It's
Because we got an
not.
epilogue going. We got an epilogue going on here with Lazarus Planet: Revenge of the Gods. Before we get started, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button. There it is, so that you're notified whenever we upload new content. This is DC Comics Deep Dive. We are still in season 2. We're talking about Lazarus Planet. This is the epilogue called Revenge of the Gods. It is a 4-issue miniseries as well as 2 issues of Wonder Woman. So it'll be weekly for approximately 6 weeks, unless 2 of the issues come out concurrently with Wonder Woman, but it'll go at least 4 weeks, possibly 6.
Good point.
And
Real quick. Quick question on that. Do you know if the main will know? I guess it's not already looked at next week. There's not an issue next week.
No, Wonder Woman comes out next week.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
because how
or
they've done
this
it
week by the
weekly.
time you
So
see
yeah.
it.
Okay. Cool. I'm in.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep. So this one kind of picks up. I wouldn't want to say right where we left things on the Lazarus Planet, because not really. The Lazarus Planet, it's over. The resin is gone.
Right.
But we do pick up where one of the one shots kind of left us.
Yeah. Also, a
If
great point to make, real quick. The Lazarus event is done, but the effects of it are not. And not only is this title something that's an effect of it, we have numerous more brand new titles starting as a effect of what happened in that. So this is just the first one that we're getting. So it says Lazarus Planet. It should have just been called Revenge of the Gods. It wouldn't have changed a thing. But I get the header trying to just continue the readership over to it.
Right. So if you remember in one of the tales in the Lazarus Planet one shot, We Once Were Gods, the gates of hell have been thrown open, and the old gods, were coming back, basically.
Yeah,
And
not
so it
happy.
starts. Yeah, exactly. It starts basically with people getting some pretty cool powers. They're able to see things. They're able to see the future. One person sees their best friend having an affair with their husband. Another sees the lottery numbers. Another sees the fact that she's going to have a stroke in a couple of days.
You
So
said some pretty cool
we
powers, and you start out with that.
exactly. And so we get basically the announcement that not all the gifts of the gods are good necessarily.
Yeah.
Some are good, and some are not. But then we get a very, very short intermission. I think just probably to make sure that people know that Billy Batson and Shazam is part of this.
Yeah.
That has basically Billy talking to who I believe is Apollo.
Yeah.
Um,
Said it was
um,
Apollo.
Right, and he is basically shot by one of Apollo's arrows.
Yeah, right in the shoulder. And that's where they
Yep.
kind of leave us hanging. And then it kind of gives us this cool little montage of different places in the world. Egypt. Was it just Asia? Tokyo.
Tokyo,
You're seeing gods and deities.
Iceland.
Yeah, gods and deities of those respected areas are rising up and attacking. So in Egypt, you kind of just I forgot what that god was doing to people. Oh yeah, that god was sicking cats on everybody, like all the stray
Mhm,
cats in Egypt. The one in Tokyo was just up in the sky, like almost like a titan, And there's this
mhm.
giant tsunami coming over this city. And the Norse god was awesome. It was like a giant chasing down. It looks like a Valkyrie almost chasing down people and just slaughtering wildlife with a bow and arrow. So the gods of all the respected backgrounds have all risen up and they're just attacking. I'm like,
Right,
dude, this has got my attention now. This kind of stuff is cool. All the mythology, all the lore. There's so much stuff and potential to play with here that we're not just doing like specifically the wizard and something from Wonder Woman like the little tease gave us. So I'm happy to see there's a lot more.
right, exactly. And then we flash to Mount Olympus with Hera sitting on the throne, and
Oh yeah.
basically Zeus laying in front of her, basically dead.
Yeah,
with the
he's
wizard
her footrest.
with the wizard Shazam. Is that his name? Is his name Shazam? I know you're good on those names.
It is
Is his name Shazam?
established that that is the wizard
Okay,
Shazam.
okay. Behind, and basically saying that the resin, the Lazarus resin has shown him things that have gone on, and that
Didn't lead
their
me
time is
astray.
exactly, and their time is now. Um, so then we flash to Washington D.C., where we find Wonder Girl, and we find Wonder Woman, and we find Cheetah, basically all together, and they're talking about what's going on and the fact that the gods have returned,
Well, we
and
got
they
context to why. We did get context to why while
right,
we are in Mount Olympus, because Hermes shows up, one of
hmm
the gods of speed and stuff of the
right,
messenger, and it was great because the colors that he's wearing, the helmet that he's wearing, you can tell it's got like flash homage. But he comes in to bring good news that in Iceland, the first shrine to an old god has been built in thousands of years, and that gives us the motive. The old gods only survive on the praise from the humans, and the praise comes from fear. And now we know why they're calling the war. They're ready to take their rightful place back, and it involves instilling fear.
right. Exactly. So the three, actually the four, convince Diana Prince. I almost said Linda Carter. Um,
Even better.
exactly. That she needs to go and plead with the gods and stop this. And so she agrees to go. But she says basically, give me 2 days. If I don't come back in 2 days, assume that I failed, and you're gonna have to, we're gonna have to, gather the troops and fight against them. Um,
Then we
and
get the
then
big the big tease.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead,
Here's
go
the
ahead.
here's the real story that's going to be playing out in this. That we got the scene, the story is set. The old gods are back. They're taking over the world. But what's really going to be happening? We get introduced to this character. We are now on the banks of the Potomac River where a giant deity lay dead with what looks like a Spartan helmet laying halfway out of the water. And we have a couple of scavenger young men that are searching the surrounding area because where gods fall and fight, there has to be treasure nearby. And then they're met by somebody who's a stranger, hooded. He's got a jacket on, can't see his face. And he just comes up and says, yes, there normally is. Now let's see. And he hops down into the water in front of them, reaches into the water, says something very rare, very powerful, and he pulls out a glowing severed hand.
Hmm.
Holding it in his hand, they ask him what it is, and he says, it is the hand of God, and it will change the course of this war.
Hmm.
And that's the best shot. That's the best picture we get of him, this hooded figure. So we kind of just, that's it. That leaves us hanging, leaves us on red right there. So the
Right.
hand of God itself is in play, and this stranger has it.
Hmm. And but it's not the last time we'll see that the stranger in this issue, though. However,
It is not.
um, so we go and we find and we see basically we now find Wonder Woman pleading with Hera to stop the war, to stop the bloodshed, basically. And so she gives her Hera gives Diana almost an ultimatum, and says, if you agree to become a god, then I will, as a god, you can save not only yourself and everyone on Themyscira, but also all of the mortal world as well.
And there's an important context to add to this. When Wonder
Correct.
Woman was speaking with Wonder Girl, Cheetah, and her friend, Wonder Woman pointed out things haven't gotten too bad yet because they have not let loose their ultimate weapon. And while having this conversation with Hera, there's a moment where Diana says that she would do anything and give up all of her powers to save her Amazonian sisters as well as the people of man's world. And then Hera jumps up and says, would you now? And Diana immediately has a narration bubble that says, I've messed up. And then points out to the reader that that ultimate weapon has now been deployed, trickery. When the
Hmm.
gods start playing trickery, that's their ultimate weapon. Things are bad. And that's exactly what happened when Wonder Woman offers that up.
Correct. Um, and so she agrees to become a god, and Hera basically says that she didn't realize how easy it was to make a god. She said that all of the males made it look like it was this big tough thing to do, but basically she takes Diana in her hand, and 3 panels, 4 panels later, she is a god.
And
And
that's how we end it, right?
right, correct, and that's where it will carry over into Wonder Woman number 797. Um, which brings us to the
Second
story
Street.
in the back, correct? Which starts off with two YouTubers. Um,
I don't want to call them TikTokers just because I don't approve of them.
yeah, which I kind of like it because it says he's very inexperienced because he says smash the like, hit that bell, and be sure to give it a big thumbs up. The thumbs up and the smash the like are the same thing,
Same thing, yeah. Yeah.
but make
And
sure you guys
with the
do it, by the way.
season that they are, so apparently it's a couple of guys that spend their time going to hard to find places, dangerous places, haunted places, and all of a sudden Themyscira is now showing up on maps. They do point out in a little bit of exposition that a landmass appears out of nowhere. Of course, we're going to go cover it and show our viewers. So they're on the way to Themyscira. They know where they're going. They're kind of poking fun at the concept of being men that are going to go on the island for the first time. They have no respect for this place. It's all for the views.
Correct. And so they managed to get on the island, and they basically troll around for just a little while. They don't really go too far inland, but that's partly because as soon as they start to go inland, the first kid gets an arrow in the chest.
Yeah, he had
You know,
an
three.
allergic reaction to getting shot in the chest.
Yeah, exactly. 4 panels later, the other guy gets an arrow in the chest, um, and we see our stranger again.
Our stranger
Um,
comes sliding down. And it's about
correct.
that time that Queen Nubia and her followers that are there helping her were privy to them making on the island and went out to intercept. And now they have come face to face with the stranger. He
Correct.
he brings some really bad news for him too. They're ready to drop him like a bad habit. Arrow pointed at him, and he said, "Sure, go ahead and do it." He's not scared of him at all. It's kind of showing the prowess of this character. Like, what kind of ability does he have that we're not seeing? But he brings news to him to hear him out. Now, women of Themyscira, your sacred island is no longer under the protection of the gods. We saw a clip of that in that one shot with them being attacked, and now their island showing up on the radars. He also says your magic, your immortality, all have been revoked. Trust me, you're going to want allies because from here on out, the Amazons stand alone.
Right.
Dun, dun,
And,
dun.
and that's important because earlier he says now that they're showing up on the map, there will be plenty of people from Ben's world who will come to try to annex their island and
Yeah.
take over. So, but yeah, that's kind of where it ends, and that's where I'm assuming we'll pick up in Revenge of the Gods number 2.
Now, in
Um,
full disclosure, before we went live, me and Paul did have to go back and like connect some dots because some of this stuff was not abundantly clear with the way that
right.
it was delivered from one story to another. But it does come together like butt cheeks when you put two heads together and like, okay, oh yeah,
Exactly.
there you go, I caught that. There was some nuance in there.
It was what I wasn't factoring in was their special trickery that they used, which is how they got Diana. Because my confusion was if she's becoming a god to save them, but then he's going to the island to tell them that they don't have any magic anymore. How do those two things come together? And it's because of their special weapon trickery that they used.
Yeah,
So
she's not becoming a god to save them. She just got tricked into being a god. Oh no.
right,
And what's funny is she just got past being a celestial entity not too long ago. You know, just about 2 years ago, she went full prime
yeah,
mode.
that's part of Infinite Frontier and everything. I mean, she
Yeah,
was
that
walking the with the Spectre.
Cosmo. Yeah, she was walking the omniverse with the Spectre side by
Hmm.
side for a while. But so
Hmm.
it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I'll be honest with you, I'm excited about the concept itself. The gods just coming back saying, "We're here." You know, the old gods are cool, you know. Like hopefully they won't keep it too close. Hopefully they'll expand and branch a little bit. Like if we got the old gods wreaking havoc, where are the new gods saying this place is ours? You know, something like that
Right.
to me. I'm sure they're going to keep it Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel centric, but to me, you should just let the new gods come in and not in my house.
Right.
That would be it. Let's just get the gods versus the gods.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. What if Wonder Woman were to become a new god?
That would be dope. That would be dope.
Tom King is writing the new Wonder Woman that
Yeah.
coming.
Oh, like yeah, just that one, like when she's down and out, like when the gods have her, you just see the magic two little sounds, ping,
Yeah,
ping. Yeah, well, I got to turn the page.
yeah. It probably won't happen. We're just fanboying it here. So
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, I definitely recommend this. It feels fresh. You don't have to have read Lazarus Planet at all. Cannot stress that enough. This is a great jump on point. What's for sure to be a blast of a story if you're into like the pantheon of gods. If you like Captain Marvel, Shazam, or Wonder Woman, even a little bit, this would be a great book just to be able to dip into and get out without having to invest too heavily in the characters and the long runs and stuff like that. But yeah, if you like mythology and stuff, this will be fun for sure.
absolutely. For you out there, leave us a comment. Let us know what you want us to cover going forward. We are basically going to be covering Revenge of the Gods, and then we're going to jump into probably Dawn of DC. We'll start with a huge episode with all everything that's going on in the Superman family. But let us know what you want to see us talk about as well. Again. Don't forget to leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, all those good things, because we want you to watch all of these things that we put out. So, but that's going to do it for this episode of DC Comics Deep Dive. As always, I am Paul, and he
Is
is,
Mark, but
but
we
our Legion.
you're now leaving sector 2815. That wasn't